Window Decorating 101. Decorating windows? Is that even a thing? Is it everywhere or just at certain resorts? Stay tuned as we check out everything there is to know about decorating your hotel windows. Hi, I'm Megan, a travel planner that specializes in Disney vacations and the owner of Ignite the Sparkle. My goal is to help you add as much sparkle as possible to your next Disney trip. Today, we're going to be discussing decorating your windows at the value resorts and doors too. All right, so why should you decorate your windows? I have found, well, when my first trip that I saw it, I thought it was really cool. It was fun. It added to that Disney atmosphere, and it was very cool to see what other people were celebrating or what they thought. But then I found out there is a very practical reason why you should decorate your windows and maybe even your door. When you're at a value resort, if you've not been, they're all like motel style. The doors all open to the outside, so that's why you actually have a window. But they all look the same. When you're walking down that row of rooms, trying to remember exactly which your number was, which one's yours, especially late at night when you're tired, you've had a long day at the park, you just want to go to your room. If your window is decorated, it's much easier to spot which one's yours so that you can just make a beeline right to your own door to go in and relax for the night. That's kind of the main thing, which then I realized on a couple of subsequent trips that sometimes my walking back to my room, I saw the door first before the window. So I started decorating my doors too. But again, I think it's just fun. Um, it's one of those, just one more thing to add to the magic. Now, it could also be one of those things like, oh my gosh, that's one more thing I have to do. But I have some tips on how to make it really easy so it's not really a lot of extra work and a lot of extra stuff that you have to lug with you. All right, so does everyone do it? No. I kind of wish more people would. Uh, there's probably on any given trip that I don't wander around the entire resort, but in my regular passings by, I usually see anywhere between 10 and 20 rooms that do have stuff in their windows. Um, I hopefully by making this video, more people will do it and then it'll increase and then it'll be even more fun to walk around and check out everyone's windows. I've heard like this is mostly a value resort thing because we have those outside windows. I've heard there might be some of the moderate resorts that decorate their doors, kind of like how on, I don't know if you've been on a cruise, but on cruise ships, people decorate their doors. Same idea. So you can find your door a lot easier when you're going down a hallway of same things after one after the other. So I can't say I've actually stayed in a moderate, so I don't have any firsthand experience there. But I do know it does happen at all of the value resorts and especially at Pop, which is where I usually stay. All right, so what should you use? What could you use to decorate? Or, you know, I told you I'd give you some ideas for if you don't really want to lug a bunch of stuff with you. Okay, so some people are very intentional. I kind of fall into this category now. And they'll bring items from home. They might bring their stuffed animals. They might bring light Christmas lights, like fairy lights or whatever you call them. They might bring window clings or might use their Cricut to cut things out or their what's the other? Forgot the name of the other thing. I happen to have a Cricut, so that's the one that sticks in my head. You can actually cut stuff out with scissors if you wanted. Make little snowflakes if you're going at Christmas time. Make those little paper snowflakes, tape them up on your window. You could even include photos. I saw someone had a really cool one where it was like photos from their first trip to Disney, and then like some of the more current photos, different things like that. Just however much personal information you want to put out there, that's also, a personal decision. You can choose themes or just whatever you feel like. Some of the themes I've seen, like birthday, I'll show a couple of my birthday ones that I've done. I go in October, which is when my birthday is, so I tend to decorate my windows and stuff to celebrate my birthday. I've seen anniversaries. I've seen people who have put things up and say like my first trip. Um, Christmas is always fun. Like at Christmas time, that people go all out, or even a lot more with like you could see stockings or. Although there are some people, believe it or not, who actually take actual Christmas trees to put in their hotel room. I haven't gotten that far, but you could do Halloween. People have put on their like they're on their honeymoon or Disney moon, as it were. You could do whatever holiday is near. I went down at Easter, so I'll put up a picture in here. You can see my little Easter display with my princesses on the door that were shaped like Easter eggs that I cut out on the Cricut. You could just decorate your favorite character, which I'm thinking about doing on my next trip. Um, when I'll take pictures of it, I will post links or something down in the comments so that you can see what I ended up with. I've done Halloween ones. I've done like it just depends on when you're there and what you're doing. Last summer there were a group of 10 of us that went, and we had 5 different rooms, and so we coordinated, or I guess maybe I coordinated them so that they all had very similar, so you could tell we were all together, but they were personalized to whoever was staying in that room. So you could have fun with it if you have more than one room. Um, okay, so those are kind of the things, like a lot of those might require you to pre-plan to know what you're doing. But let's say you're already at Disney and you just stumbled across this video. Although, why are you on your phone? Go have fun. You're at Disney. But in case you see this, what you could do is put whatever souvenirs you got this year, stick those on in the window. There is a little ledge, and I'll show you another picture here. So I haven't measured the exact width of the ledge. I'm thinking maybe 4 inches or so. I've seen people where you could tell like they bought a popcorn bucket, so they stuck their popcorn bucket in there. Their current magic bands that they're like, if they have more than one magic band, the one they're not wearing for the day goes there. Any souvenirs they just bought, if they bought a cute little stuffed animal or if they bought an ornament, like put those in there. Heck, you can even put a shopping bag in there. Those reusable shopping bags are really nice. So you can put anything that's on your trip. You could, if you have a shirt that you're not going to wear that has a cute Disney print, roll that up, sit it in the window. You could do all kinds of different things just with whatever you currently have with you. So don't think you have to go out and buy things specifically to decorate your window. All right, so let's say you've decided, yep, you're going to decorate your window. Now, what do you need to know? Well, how big are the windows? According to all the sources, the windows are about 37 3/4 inches wide. I've never needed to know it that specifically, a little over 3 feet. Um, why would you need to know? Just if you're trying to plan how much you need for something to make it to go across, or if you're going to do lights, you might need to know the whole perimeter so that you can make sure you have enough lights. They are also 59 inches tall, so these windows are pretty high. And like I said, there's a ledge. The ledge is probably only 3 or 4 inches deep, so enough that you can put some stuffed animals on, but like don't get too carried away. I've taken some things that were too big and they kind of like push into the curtain a little bit, but you can make it work. So I've been mentioning lights, so you might be wondering if there are outlets nearby. Yes, there is an outlet, at least at Pop. I'm assuming that the other value resorts, since they've renovated all the rooms, are very similar. I still recommend taking an extension cord if you're going to do lights. It's clear it's nearby, but if you don't have an extension cord, you might waste lights because you may end up having lights run around to get to the plug. So unless you bought an overabundance of lights, you probably do at least want an extension cord. Doesn't have to be like any like 50-footer or anything. Just a little household one will be fine. I do also, when I put lights in the windows, I leave them on all the time. Mostly because I leave my hotel room during the day and I come back at night, so I don't have a chance to put them on in between. I also just leave them on all night because the curtains, at least at Pop, are blackout curtains. So the light from the lights don't affect me, or they don't really come into the room at all. So it doesn't bother me. Um, I just lost my train of thought. I also, well, that's the other thing I do. I also bring an extra string of lights just to put in the room because I really like Christmas lights and the way they look. And I use that kind of as my own little night light. So just throwing that out there. All right. So I mentioned before about decorating my doors. And doors are a little bit different because when you're decorating your window, you put everything on the inside. So, you don't have to worry about it falling. Well, I have had stuff fall down. That's not, you don't have to worry about it being taken or going anywhere. But the biggest issue I had with decorating my door is that's on the outside. And it's really humid in Florida. So anything that's paper probably isn't going to survive past your vacation. The first year that I did my doors, I had little paper cutouts, and they were okay because they were small. They were only like this big, and they were made out of like cardstock. That was fine. But for my birthday trip, I got one of those banners from Walmart that says "Happy Birthday," and I had one that was Minnie and one that was Mickey, and one I put on my window, and the other I put on the door. Well, the one on the door didn't really last so much. Like when it was the end of my trip, when again I was only there for a weekend, I took it down and it was very wet. So that just went in the garbage can. So just keep that in mind before you put things on your door. Realize that it may not survive. So my most recent trip, when I went for my birthday, I decided I was going to be smarter about this. And I actually laminated the paper stuff that I was going to hang on the doors. That way, if they're laminated, then, or in plastic sheets, or in, you know, coated in plastic or tape or something, they won't get destroyed by the humidity. So, what are you hanging all this stuff with? Well, I just use like the purple gift wrap tape. I found that it's the clearest, so like even when it's on the window, like you don't really notice it too much. Um, Last summer we did use regular like clear tape, and that was fine. Just be careful when taking it off, just to be cautious, and we don't want to cause any damage. I've not had that be an issue at all, but just be careful with that. I do believe, which also could help, I do believe the doors might actually be metal. So if you have magnety type things, you could probably use those to decorate on your doors too. Just, hope they don't walk off. I tend to try to use things that don't have much value when I'm putting them on the outside, um, because, it's outside. What else? Oh, so 3M makes, I mean, I know you guys are probably familiar with all of their regular removable stuff, but they had a repositionable clip, and I used those to hang my lights. And that worked really well because at the end of the weekend or the end of the week, they actually popped right off without having to do massive amounts of pulling and stuff. I've also just used tape. It really, it's a matter of whatever you have handy. Um, okay, let's see what else. I guess you could probably also use suction cups since it is a window. I've not used suction cups because I don't have luck with those at home, so I wasn't going to even try those at Disney. But if you're someone who uses suction cups, those could work. Okay, so we've covered what to use to hang them, where to put the things, some different theming ideas. But if you want to find more specific ideas of things you can do, there are a couple places off the top of my head that I can think. Number one, Pinterest. I mean, everyone searches on Pinterest for everything. But definitely, if you look up like window decor, you will find things out there. You might also try looking up like things for cruise ships, because on cruise ships, like I think it said, it's a thing that they decorate their doors, so that could help you just with ideas that you could transfer to a window. Um, Also, Facebook groups, you can come join mine, and I'd be happy to share more detailed pictures of all the doors I've done and windows, and Maybe I'll even try and take some more on the next. I'll take pictures of some of the other people's stuff on the next trip. So here's some of the ones I did, and I'll enter some pictures here for you to see. This is the one that I get probably the most comments about. Yes, that is a little COVID stuffed animal down there. And some of the other pictures you'll see, I now also have the vaccine one, so he hangs out with him. Because I use those on all the trips that I've gone since the reopening, since COVID, with all the changes that have happened. Just something, again, to add some fun. But these pennants, I have gotten so many comments about, and they are so fun. And the beauty of it is they were free. Picture the Magic, and I will put a link in the description, has these on her website. I think you have to sign up for her newsletter and you get them for free. And there's like 22 different characters represented. And for me, when I hung mine, I didn't even tape them or glue them together. I ran yarn or string, I think it was like a twine, just from across my windows and going down. And then I printed them on regular paper and I just folded them and just hung them on, and they stayed just fine. So that's super easy, and free is always a very good price. So that's something that you can look at. Again, I put the link in the description. Also, I mentioned I cut things out using my Cricut. So I bought some stuff on Etsy, things that were probably designed for shirts. If you've ever used Cricut stuff, you probably know a lot of times it's the placement matters. So what I did is after I cut it all out, I laid it on a lamination page and ran it through my laminator. So that put all the pieces together and it stayed together. And you can see it in this picture. It's the green thing that says, "My, oh my, what a wonderful day." That was cut out on the Cricut and laminated, which is also nice because then it makes it clear and you can hang it up easily. I think that might be, let's see, we've talked about hanging it, finding ideas, themes, doors, things going bad in the humidity. I think that covers the basics. So I hope this gives you some good ideas on how to make your room just a little bit more magical, adding some sparkle to your trip. If you have any ideas for windows you've decorated, you want to share in the comments, or cool ones you've seen, I would love more ideas. I go quite often, so I need more and more ideas for my windows. But if you want more Disney tips like this, please make sure you subscribe to the channel. And thanks for watching. I hope this inspires you to add a little bit of sparkle to your next Disney trip. And if you do want, lost my page. If you want even more sparkle in your life, stay tuned. I usually try to put a video out at least, once a week or so. So come back and watch more videos. Thanks.